a champagne of bottled beer.
Hiya, football fans, and especially New York Giant rooters. This is Marty Glickman speaking for the brewers of Miller High Life, who take real pleasure in bringing you all the thrills and chills of the New York Giants' 1950 football season. And what a season it was. Yes, get set to enjoy life with Miller High Life as the New York Giants pass on parade with some of the most spectacular football you've ever seen.
First, we visit Forbes Field in Pittsburgh and witness the highlights of the Giants' thrilling game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's ball in the fourth quarter, and the situation is tense. With only minutes left to play, the Giants lead the Steelers 11-7. Having nothing to lose but the ball game, the desperate Steelers fill the air with passes. And now here's one of the most unusual plays you'll ever see on a gridiron. There's Jim Finks fading back to pass. He throws another long one. It's intercepted by Hall Monroe for the Giants, and this begins the fun. He returns to the 32 where he fumbles. Frank Whiteoh recovers for Pittsburgh, and it's promptly stolen from him by Ray Poole. Poole, in turn, hooks a lateral to Tom Landry, and Landry is away for a touchdown. How's that for a football freak? Here it is again, fans. A different lens, but the same play in slow motion. Finks passing. Rowe in good position, intercepting. He picks up two good blocks now. Coming back, he's hit hard. Whiteoh picks it up, and he's robbed by Ray Poole. Poole then makes his fancy hook lateral to Landry, and the Giants win their opener 18-7. This was a big one. The Giants' first meeting with the four-time champions of the now defunct All-America Conference, and the Giants were doing fine. Gene Roberts smashes his way for a 32-yard gain in the first quarter to Cleveland's 14, and the visiting New Yorkers don't let up. Randy Clay takes Connolly's handoff for a wide-end sweep, and he almost gets into the end zone before he's cracked down inside the 2. From there, the Giants give the ball to their quick-starting fullback, Eddie Price, and when Eddie drives, New York has a quick 6 points. But the big feature of this game is not so much in the offense. It is in the extraordinary defense of the New York Giants. The celebrated passing attack on the Browns was torpedoed on this afternoon by some very alert interceptions. There's Rowe taking one of Otto Graham's tosses to stop a Cleveland drive in the first quarter. Steve Owens' men had a fiendish umbrella over the Browns' receivers. Here the Giants are at it again. Ken Carpenter throwing, and Emlyn Tunnell clutching it away from the intended man, Dub Jones. The Giants were as inspired a bunch of ball hawks as you ever saw on a gridiron. Otto Graham tries another one. Once more, there's a nifty interception, this one by Otto Schnellbacher. Yet against a team like Cleveland, you can't steal them all. In the final quarter, staring at possible defeat, the Brownies knuckle down. With only 4 minutes to go, the Browns were trailing 6-0. Graham passes a beauty to his ace receiver, Dante Lavelli. This one Lavelli got, but Tunnell was there to knock him out of bounds on the Giant 42. And now in the fading moments, Cleveland, facing the first shutout in its history, was trying everything to score. Graham firing another to Max Speedy that just sails over his fingertips in the end zone. What will the Brownies do next? Once more is Graham fading the pass. With his receivers covered, Otto decides to run. He's in the clear, no one near him, except half a dozen Giants. Nevertheless, the Brownies move 22 yards, and even though they're desperate, they're dangerous. Thousands of their home fans were screaming for at least a tying score when Graham fades quickly to pass again. There he goes. This one goes to Max Speedy, and over giant objections, the ref rules it complete on the 12-yard line. First down and only 12 yards to go for a touchdown. Dub Jones cuts over left tackle for 4 of those yards. This is an acid test for the Giants defense. Once more, Jones over tackle, but this time he stopped. Third down coming up, and Ken Carpenter tries to circle his right end. There's the pitch out. Tom Landry almost nabs him, but 3 Giants drop him for a loss. They'll never forget this New York game in Cleveland, for when a 4th down pass is incomplete, the Giants had handed the Brownies their first shutout to the tune of 6-0. It was a gray, rainy day in the nation's capital when the Skins, leading by 7 points, kick off against the Giants. Joe Scott takes it on his own 2 and brings it back to the 30. A nice run back that touched off a spark for New York. A few plays later, needing yardage, Randy Clay fought his way to a first down. The stage was set for one of the most spectacular passes of the game. There's Clay for that first down. Here comes that pass play. Charlie Connolly doing the pitching. And what a catch by Ellery Williams. He was knocked out of bounds on the Redskins' 26 by Harry Dowder. Now the Giants' running attack. Forrest Griffith cuts around right end to the 20-yard line. Once more, it's Griffith hanging 3 men up as he cuts inside for 8 more. It's a beautiful running show by Griffith as once more he cuts in and goes to the Washington 3. A dangerous man in close. Griffith crashes over, and the Giants tie it up at 7-all. But when New York kicked off to start the second half, Washington once more led by a touchdown. And there's the Redskins' flying wedge formation with Bill Dudley carrying. Dudley laterals to Kelly, who's finally down by Poole and Salatis on the Giants' 47. The Redskins are making a lot of trouble for New York. Suddenly, a Skin fumble. Kelly Moat pounces on it. And now let's see how aggressive the Giants can get. There's a pass coming up, so watch closely, fans. Charlie Connolly gets it away nicely, and just look. Paul Haynes deflects it into the hands of Bob McChesney, and Bob goes to the Washington 13. Once more, it's that driving Forrest Griffith who just bounces to the 7. A few moments later, with Austin Clay and Rapaz clearing his way, Roberts ties it up again. Last quarter and biggest drama of all. A miracle pass by Charles Connolly. With 1 foot in the end zone, he gets it away to Griffith in one of the most electrifying single plays of the season. Griffith was stopped finally on his own 37, but this was the play that set the Giants on fire. Behind again, 17-14, with less than 6 minutes to go, they started a chain reaction. Clay grabs another Connolly pass down the middle, and watch how cleverly the whole attack is carried out. Once more, Connolly is going to throw. This time down the center alley again. Even though it's no good, his successive shots down the middle has caused Washington defenders to converge toward the center. Everything set for the perfect piece of signal calling. Faking towards the middle, he passes to the flank to Roberts, who's all by himself for a score. And the Giants pull it out of the fire to win over Washington in the final moments, 21-17. A wet, muddy day in Manhattan, and the white-jerseyed Eagles found it sticky going against the Giants. Their first quarter drive is slowed by New York. When on third down, Steve Van Buren is stopped by the Giants at the line of scrimmage. Cliff Patton tries a field goal from the 24. It's good. 3-0 for the Eagles. Once more Philadelphia's ball. Last year's National League champions were threatening again, but this time they're piled up and held on fourth down. New York takes over with a humdinger. 2 crushing blocks by Price and McChesney spring Randy Clay loose for 57 yards. He doesn't stop until that convoy of Eagles throw him out of bounds on the 23. Roberts takes over and is scissored by the Philadelphians after picking up 5. On 3rd down, Clay smashes for 3 more to the 15. And here's what goes to make up a touchdown. Perfect blocking by his teammates, and Randy Clay flies over the goal line. 7-3 in favor of New York. The Eagles then pulled out all the stops with a stunning succession of split T option plays. Quarterback Bill McReady decides to run. Again and again in that second period, Philadelphia's fancy formation ground out yardage against New York. What about the Giants' defense? Well, when the chips were down, they sure did have it. Watch this one, fans. McReady's thrown off balance and Steve Van Buren thrown for a loss. With the Eagles threatening, 2 crucial tackles by M. Tunnell stem the tide. Palmer goes around left end to be poleaxed by Tunnell. Watch this jarring tackle. Next play on 4th down, goal to go. McReady tries the right end, but Tunnell was there again to say, out you go. The game was remarkable for its bone-bruising goal line stands by the Giants, now forced to kick out from deep in their territory in the second half. Dan Sandifer makes an excellent return, right down the alley for 38 yards before Price and Clay could drag him down. Here again was that stubborn defense. McReady smacked down by John Kennedy. And what a job big Arnie Weinmeister did on the Eagles' ball-carrying ace, Steve Van Buren. Arnie pushes him out of bounds. 3rd down for Philadelphia. Halfback Toy Ledbetter runs into a stone wall. 4th down, still goal to go, but the Savage defense said nothing doing. The final quarter saw another bid by the dangerous Philadelphians. That's Jim Palmer drilling through for almost a 1st down. And there's no doubt about it when Tommy Thompson fades back and passes to Palmer. Jim was crunched to the turf just short of the Giant 20. Another pass, Thompson to Pijos, and the Eagles were on the 10. For the 5th time in this Rock'em Sock'em contest, they were in the shadow of the Giant goalposts. If the Eagles lose, it means elimination from the conference race. 2nd down, and Van Buren's crossbuck takes them to the Giant 2. The Eagles try that one again, but only to be stopped cold. It was gripping stonewall play as the goal line boys saved it for the Giants, 7-3. The Giants held. For their second meeting against the powerful Browns, Steve Owens' men changed their defense. Still covering the receivers, this time they concentrated on rushing the passer. All through the game, they were swooping in on Otto Graham like a bunch of kamikazes. Otto was often snowed under before he even got his arm back. Time and again, they smothered the Cleveland triggerman. Right now, Al DeRogatis and Jim Duncan pulled him down before he could pass. All through the game, they applied this pressure. Watch Ray Poole come in from right end. Wham! He never had a chance to get in the way. Meanwhile, the Giants secondary hadn't let up either. There were interceptions. Here's a marvelous interception by Otto Schnellbacher and a mighty fine run back, too. For you younger fans who plan someday to be halfbacks, notice how Otto switches that ball to keep it away from the tackler. Now, that's a very correct procedure, but coming up is one that's highly incorrect. On this Cleveland kickoff, just before the half ended, Jim Ostendorf allowed the ball to roll dead. You can do that with a punt, but not, of course, with a kickoff. And it was the Brownies' ball on the New York 1. Cleveland quickly capitalized on that break to score its only touchdown of the season against the Giants. There's a hole by the side of the goalpost, and Otto Graham sneaked through it. Cleveland led at the half 13-3, and it looks as though they certainly would have the revenge they wanted for that humiliating shutout they suffered earlier in Cleveland. But in the third quarter, Joe Scott showed what the Giants were made of. He barrels loose for 50 yards before Ken Gorgel all but tore his shirt off to pull him out of bounds on the Cleveland 35. Brother, that was a starter for New York. Speedy Eddie Price blasts through the middle for another first down, deep in Cleveland territory. The mighty Browns are up against as inspired a bunch of ball players as you ever saw. The Giant line opens up a hole for Joe Scott, who went 6 more yards. A few plays later, they were down by the goal line. The Browns digging in. But Griffith goes in low and hard to score for New York. Man, what a fight this one is. But the Giants are still behind, 13-10, and in the final quarter, Cleveland was driving. And the Giants, well, remember what we were saying about their marvelous defense? Well, here it is. Interception coming up. Otto Schnellbacher brings it back. He laterals to Emlen Tunnell, and here come the Giants, all the way to the Cleveland 30. The defensive team has done a terrific job. Right now, it's up to the Giant offense. Connolly running the tee. Time is running out. He hands off to Scott, who drives 4 yards closer to pay dirt. There were only a few minutes left, and no one, but no one, had ever beaten the Brownies twice in a single season. Again, Joe Scott, who's down to the 8. More of Scott as he drives to the 2-yard line on third down. A field goal would have tied it, but Steve Owen was out to win it. And they do just that as they beat Cleveland again. Giants 17, Cleveland 13, as Scott goes over for the winning touchdown. This game saw the Giants bring back the A formation originated by Steve Owen in 1937 as a variation of the single-wing offense. Against Chicago, Roberts seems to do just fine from the A. There you have it again, the back strong to the right, but the line split 4-2 to the left of center. The Cards were one of the 2 teams to beat the football Giants during the season, and New York was smarting from a 17-3 defeat 2 weeks earlier in Chicago. But today at the Polo Grounds, the Giants were writing the script. Using their A formation, they piled up a total of 552 yards from scrimmage. And now the coup de grace. Almost bottled up, Roberts burst into the clear. With a decisive downfield block by Bill Swiacki, he goes to a touchdown. And now, fans, here's Roberts on his longest run of the day. Watch again what a burst of speed he can put out. This time is for 61 yards down the sideline. Gene set a new league record, 218 yards and 26 rushes. Now highlights of the Giants passing. Chuck and Charlie Connolly on the throwing end. Look at the sensational catch by Scott. Oh, he was just chipped short by Svoboda. Tough luck, Joe. On the way, fans, is more throwing magic. Connolly jump passes to Bob McChesney for 20 more yards. If you like that, you'll certainly like this next one. Connolly, so well protected that he could have written a letter home, sends a long one to McChesney for a wonderful catch. Though he dropped it in the end zone, he held it long enough to make it count. Connolly passed very well from the A. Here he is on a quickie to Bill Swiacki. More collaboration between Connolly and Swiacki, and this was superb. The Giants were rolling against Chicago. For the game's final minutes, the Giants went back to the tee, and Travis Tidwell directed an all-rookie backfield. Former rookie ace is going to pass, but he has trouble finding a receiver. Now he spotted one, and it goes to Randy Clay. Randy's finally stopped, but not until he's picked up a first down for New York. Now a running play, but the Cards have that one doped out perfectly. From the tee, Tidwell takes it, and he decides to run again. He's a good running quarterback. The Giants did mighty well that afternoon. Here's a pretty play. With a nice block by Price and a touchdown scamper by Jim Ostendorf, the Giants went on to crush Chicago 51-21. early in the game. Washington's ball. A fumble. John Baker recovers for the Giants, and the stage is set for a New York touchdown play. Travis Tidwell in the tee, fakes a handoff, and then runs back to shoot a diagonal pass. All by as lonesome as Bob McChesney, who sloughs off one Washington defender and runs to a Giant touchdown. Coming up after the Skins had tied the score, another Giant touchdown. Tidwell on a bootleg, carrying it on his hip and just racing into a corner of the end zone. Touchdown! But when Washington came back to go ahead 21-14, a spectacular Giant play was called for, and this is it. Connolly's pass to Swiacki. He battles to his feet and staggers to the game-tying touchdown. With less than 2 minutes left to play, the Redskins receive the kickoff and another gridiron drama is building. Washington is going all out to win it. Now Sammy Boy in there, their famous passing ace. He pitches to Hugh Taylor, who laterals to Charlie Justice. But then some hustle by New York, and the situation is reversed. Justice tries to lateral, and Tom Landry intercepts for the Giants. What a situation. The Giants were 5-2 on the season. They had to win this game to stay in second place. But there were only 54 seconds left in the game. Connolly sends a long pass downfield. Incomplete. Second down coming up. Are they able to make it? Connolly is almost smeared, but he gets it away to Clay. Clay takes it to the 32-yard line, but the situation is still a drastic one. Score tied, third down and seconds to go. Another Connolly pass is partially blocked. With only 6 seconds left, Ray Poole tries a field goal from 40 yards out and angling from the right. A perfect kick, and the Giants win it 24-21. A bitter cold day in Philadelphia and some bitter news for the white-jerseyed Eagles in the first quarter. Interception by Tom Landry gives the ball to the Giants at midfield. And what are the Giants going to do? Why, they call on Charlie Connolly. Just look at this pass to Bob McChesney. Good for 38 yards. But the Eagles held, and the Giants decided on a field goal. With Ray Poole injured, Randy Clay makes his first place kick attempt. It's good, and New York leads 3-0. We're still in the first quarter. The Eagles ball, but not for long. All-league tackle Arnie Weinmeister recovers a fumble, and the Giants take over from there. Again, they call on the pass duo of Connolly and McChesney, and fans watch the catch. A beautiful job that puts the New Yorkers on the 5-yard line. But the Eagles dig in, and on fourth down, Connolly sets up a pretty play. Charlie is rushed, looks for a receiver, finds McChesney in the end zone. 9-0 Giants. Second quarter now, the Eagles ball, and the little snow has begun to fall. Philadelphia's Tommy Thompson faced to throw a screen pass to Jack Myers. Myers, convoyed nicely, carries its special delivery for 20 yards. The Eagles in possession on the Giants' 36. It's going to be another pass by Thompson. A pretty one, too. Tommy floats a long, high one to Jim Palmer, and the Eagles make it 9-7. They now trail only by 2 points. By the second half, the snow is falling faster. Philadelphia's quick kick is blocked by Weinmeister, who falls on it on the 5-yard line. Now fans get set for the most unusual play of the game. It hinges on a clipping penalty against the Eagles. Tidwell out of the tee, trying to pass. He fumbles. McDowell grabs it for Philadelphia. There was nothing between him and the goal line but snowflakes. But watch for the clipping. Gianelli bowls over Jim White of the Giants, and McDowell's touchdown is nullified. There's a rhubarb out there, and the officials put it back. A field goal could still win it, but Cliff Patton misses from 40 yards out, and the Giants win it 9-7. Close-up of the Giants at work in the Polo Grounds against the New York Yanks. Everyone was looking forward to this first National Football League duel between the two big city rivals. Which was the better team? The game is less than a minute old when Charlie Connolly paves the way for Eddie Price, who scoots down the sideline for 61 yards. Joe Golding pushes him out of bounds on the 4. From here, before the Yanks have time to catch their breath, Eddie Price runs through a hole in the line, and the Giants lead by a touchdown. Coming now is a really rugged bit of football. It's the Yanks' ball, and they're going to pass. George Radaman takes it and throws. A triple collision as Schnellbacher intercepts. Both he and Tunnell are knocked out, but not for long. It's the Giants' ball, and the Giants are exploding. There's the tireless Eddie Price. They can't hold him. He's finally hauled down from behind. Operating again from their A formation, the Giants are doing everything well. In total offense, they run up a staggering 599 yards. Their pulverizing ground game led the league in rushing. To add to the merriment of Mara's men is a scintillating air attack. Chuck Connolly fading the pass. A perfect bullseye in the end zone to Swiacki. Giants ball again. Charlie Connolly ducks a would-be tackler and throws a 30-yard pass to McChesney. Brother, they're hard to stop. Look at them battle. There's Chuck Connolly again. Watch this catch by Swiacki. Just terrific. From the 10-yard line, Connolly fails to find his receivers open. So Charlie carries it for a change all the way to the 2-yard line. There's a nice cut. At that point, Gene Roberts scoots across for another Giant score. The Yankees are getting desperate, and no wonder. Look what happens to their passes. There's M. Tunnell intercepting over his shoulder and making a thrilling run back. He's directing traffic. But at last, he's just tuck it out, and they nab him on the Yanks' 45. Next play, more fine Giant running. Eddie Price is the ball carrier, and does he take off? But one last block is missed, and Eddie's down on the Yank 14. Another play, another star. Price runs interference this time, and Joe Scott smashes his way to the 2. From here, Charlie Connolly goes up and over. What a field day for the Giants. The Yanks are forced to punt with Skladany, Milner, and Weinmeister rushing the kicker. On the other end is M. Tunnell. M gets a nice block by Kennedy. There it is, and he goes scampering around for a 25-yard run back. There's more red-blooded excitement for Giant fans just a little later, when Scott takes Connolly's spot pass for a nifty jaunt. A crisp block by Jackson, and Joe goes all the way to the 10 before Joe Golding drags him down. Good tackle. It was a misty day at the Polo Grounds, but rose-tinted for Giant rooters. Connolly throwing another touchdown pass, this one to McChesney. And the Giants rout the Yanks 51-7 and earn a conference tie with Cleveland at the end of the regular season. For one last thrill, Bob Stonewall Jackson gallops around left end to gaze upon the promised land. A swell finale to the year's exciting gridiron play of the New York Football Giants.
And there you have it, folks. The high-scoring highlights of the New York Giants' sensational season of 1950. Kind of makes you look forward to next fall, doesn't it? Well, we hope to see you out at the Polo Grounds cheering for your New York Giant ball club. But if you can't be there in person, follow the fortunes of your football favorites through the Miller High Life broadcast of all Giant games, home and away. We'll be seeing you, and in the meantime, Don't forget, it's always a grand idea to enjoy life with Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer.
Miller. I like. Miller. I like the champagne.